Depending on where you look, the 2010 video game of the year was Mass Effect 2. It promised to take players back to the somewhat dystopian space-age future that had been so masterfully laid down by Bioware 3 years earlier in 2007's Mass Effect, and boy, did it ever. It's not a mystery why this entry in the series is so often touted as the best. It not only reintroduced the world and characters we had gotten attached to, but successfully transplanted it into a sort of soft reboot. A reboot that improved upon the fundamental gameplay mechanics to make it more appealing to not just role-playing nerds like myself, but the over-the-shoulder third-person shooter combat fanatics. It's a win-win scenario. I don't absolutely despise the gameplay of the first one like many seem to do, but it was obviously an early console generation entry that was taking advantage of a new engine that had only been used in released games for about a year at the time, so an overhaul was to be expected. The role-playing elements were very much refined, but if you ask me, they were borderline non-existent, and understandably it irked a few of the players who actually liked exploring barren, uninteresting planets in search of loot they couldn't get because they didn't bring tally. I think the game is slightly more accessible with the streamlined approach, and besides, the true role-playing was left largely unchanged, and even came with a couple of exciting new features, such as the endlessly satisfying interrupts and the cinematic camera. But my favourite feature was having the ability to continue my story. It wasn't the first game to explore this idea, but it was definitely the first to do it this effectively. By having the ability to import your save files from the previous game, you not only had the chance to carry over your character, but the consequences of all your character's decisions. This was absolutely insane to me, for it was the first time I had the opportunity for this type of gaming experience, and as such, it actually gave birth to the idea of the Mass Effect Head Canon project. Greetings, Spacefarers, I'm Mykul, and welcome to Season 2 of MTJ Disorder's Mass Effect Head Canon project, a playthrough where we will be focusing on the different decisions that players can make throughout the games, and how those decisions can impact the story. For a full breakdown, I recommend hitting the link right here, but for all intents and purposes, the majority of this series will work like a typical Let's Play, but rather than blind first-time reactions, I will be documenting all of the events of the games in retrospective. This will include breakdowns of specific encounters, my occasional personal views and critique of the game itself, Easter eggs, bugs and glitches, but most importantly a detailed explanation of my own personal headcanon and why I perceive this particular Commander Shepard to be the most compelling and interesting. To get to this point, I have had to play the trilogy so many times with so many varying outcomes that even to this day I am still discovering something new with each playthrough. It is a monument to the absolute masterpiece that is Mass Effect, and I hope that I manage to encapsulate those who also love this series as I do, so as to stimulate discussion on a video game that even now, many years later, still has people talking. One of the ongoing themes of this project has been the way I believe context has changed my experience of the entire trilogy. I know not everyone will share this perspective, but the way this added context affected me was far too profoundly felt to ignore, and it really started here with the introduction of Mass Effect 2. We will get into this further as we play through the opening chapter of Mass Effect 2, but I feel some of this needs to be illustrated now to make it easier to comment on later, as one of the major improvements in Mass Effect 2 is the pace. Sometimes things happen so fast it will not be as simple for me to thoroughly add commentary without having to slow things down, and it's precisely this that made me notice that playing Commander Shepard was a very close and personal adventure. I hadn't actually made the realization yet that what I had crafted throughout the events of Mass Effect was possibly very different from what others will have experienced, and though it is ironic that no matter what, none of us have a choice other than to share in the experience of this opening sequence of this sequel, its powerful impact truly in the moment made me fear for the loss of the character I had created. And since I had literally just finished the first game less than an hour before I started this one, you can imagine the shock I felt given the heights in which we had just left off. With great subtlety, Mass Effect 2 had just subliminally told me this game is not fucking around. The consequences of my actions suddenly felt more tangible, as though simply beating the game was no longer the only objective. Now I wasn't even sure I would survive it. Pretty heavy stuff to be thinking about after I've only just hit the start button. So what exactly is going to be different about this season? Not too much, fortunately. I will continue to break down and analyse the game along with my own personal headcanon as concisely as I have done before, only there may be longer segues in the event scripted sequences continue for too long, and likewise, due to the real-time nature of interrupts, I will end up either explaining my action before or after it takes place, depending on the situation. And as the game itself has become more cinematic, my approach to editing story beats and missions together will also be more cinematic. So without further ado, let's jump right back in.
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
But they're sending him to fight Geth. Geth. We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
Cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be. Stealth systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
Presley!
Kinetic barriers down! Multiple hull breaches! Weapons offline! Somebody get that fire out!
Shepard!
Distress beacon is ready for launch.
Will the Alliance get here in time?
Ah, what a welcoming introduction. Death, destruction, the ship falling apart. It's good to be back.
The Alliance won't abandon us. We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttle.
Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't evacuate. I'm not leaving either.
Look, that first option was meant to be reassurance, and because you're my girlfriend, and though it is true there is no time to argue, that option just simply is not urgent enough.
Get to the damn shuttle. I'll haul Joker's crippled ass out of here.
Uh-oh, Shepard, that's called ableism.
Shepard!
And see, I love that reaction. It's mean, but this is a mean situation.
Everybody in! Go, go, go!
And here we go.
Mayday! 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 This is SSV Normandy!
I'd like to point out that from a gameplay perspective, this is a very good reintroduction to the controls.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy!
We're not thrust into combat, it is just a refamiliarization with the basics.
Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
Wow. Just wow.
Come on, Joker. We have to get out of here.
No, I won't abandon the Normandy! I can still save her!
No matter the playthrough, I always find it so difficult to resist being renegade throughout this introduction. Every single Normandy crew member would be in a state of fight or flight. I mean, just look at this guy, he's acting so desperately to save this ship he loves. I get it, but it's over, Joker. And as Commander, it is my responsibility and mine alone to make that call.
The Normandy's dead. Just like us, we don't get the hell out of here.
No, we just have to... Oh no. They're coming around for another attack! Watch the arm! Commander! Shepard!
Just kidding, but seriously, didn't we all feel that way when this first happened? I know there are some out there who think this was slightly controversial at the time, and were less than impressed with the way that this slightly pushed the legacy of the first game aside, but damn, it's effective, right? And whether you liked it or not, this whole introduction is a severe gut punch. I'd never seen a game open up like this, and in my opinion, Bioware deserves so much credit just for having the balls to do it. As I mentioned in the introduction, Bioware had now had over 3 years of experience with this engine and this generation of Xbox, so sweeping changes to the overall build of this game are understandable, and I interpreted this introduction as a poetic way of cleaning the canvas, so to speak. But make no mistake, I did genuinely think Shepard had just died here, and that perhaps we were going to be playing a new character just like in Dragon Age 2. I'm curious to know what everybody else felt when they played this for the first time. Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, hit the like button, share the video with all your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Commander Shepard has been recovered. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
And okay, Commander Shepard is alive? Consider my interest piqued. Okay, a couple of things to go over here. First and foremost, the fact that you're given the option to import your face or go with a default appearance, or even the option to create an entirely new appearance, is next level customization for a game from 2010. The only disappointment is that if you choose custom appearance, it will reset your face to a default Shepard and not your imported face. So if you did want to make some minor tweaks to your own Shepard, then you will have to memorize the face code, which isn't the end of the world, it's just inconvenient. One thing I'd like to talk about before we continue is just how good this imported face looks. I know some players have issues with how accurately their faces cross over between games, but this one looks pretty damn spot on. Anyways, moving on, we're going to be sticking with the Vanguard class. As with the first game, you do get to pick a secondary bonus power, but this time they do feel a little bit more supplementary. For instance, if you pick a class that doesn't have very good defensive capabilities, you can add Barrier or Geth Shield Boost. Because there is no weapons training required, there is just simply no bonus weapon option. Well, not at this point anyway. What I'm trying to say is that whatever you pick as your bonus power is almost like a proto version of the profile system in Mass Effect Andromeda. If you like playing as soldier but also want to be a biotic who can throw people around, well, pick Slam. If you're an infiltrator and you want more methods of crowd control, then pick Stasis. As a Vanguard, I like to have more AoE effects and also to just increase my overall damage output. And as we're going to learn, Vanguard in Mass Effect 2 has a tendency to get itself into trouble, and so having an oh shit bonus power can be very helpful. Fortification can be very useful in this situation, but I usually go with warp ammo. The way it increases the efficiency of all of your weapons is just so overpowered. To shake things up, however, I am going to pick Inferno Grenade. It's very handy to have in Mass Effect 2, especially considering how often you're going to find yourself getting swamped by too many enemies. As a quick refresher, Mykul Shepard is a spacer/soul survivor. They were a Vanguard in the previous game, and these backgrounds will continue to be vital in the decision making of this character.
Something's wrong.
He's reacting to outside stimuli, showing an awareness of his surroundings. Oh my God, Miranda, I think he's waking up.
Damn it, Wilson, he's not ready yet. Give him the sedative. Shepard, don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay calm.
Heart rate's still climbing. Brain activity is off the charts. Stats pushing into the red zone. It's not working.
Another dose. Now.
Heart rate dropping. Stats falling back into normal range. That was too close. We almost lost him.
I told you your estimates were off. Run the numbers again.
Having this objectively beautiful and angelic face be the first thing that Shepard sees upon revival is going to be a very important story beat.
Wake up, Commander. Shepard, do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is under attack. Shepard, your scars aren't healed, but I need you to get moving. This facility is under attack. There's a pistol in the locker on the other side of the room. Hurry! Grab the pistol and armor from the locker.
Alright, just to get my bearings.
You don't have time to wait around, Shepard. Grab your weapon and armor.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from... Damn it! Those canisters by the door are going to blow. Get behind cover now. Keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself from the blast. Someone's hacking security trying to kill you. Look for a thermal clip for your pistol.
Okay, but what is a thermal clip?
Looks like they set up a barricade to try holding the mechs off. Look out! Keep moving. We need to get to the shuttles.
I understand why they included the thermal clips, but it is just one of the greatest examples of Bioware brushing something under the rug.
Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position.
Can't get a lock.
I choose to show you how difficult of a time I'm having with just these mechs,
Can't target them.
to emphasize why having such a long and progressive tutorial was necessary.
Nice work, Shepard. Coast is clear.
Like, the changes are not that drastic, but small, subtle things such as no longer having dynamic cover, reverting to limited ammunition, do take some getting used to.
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted for long.
Brutal. Having scripted sequences in the background like that is such a huge upgrade for immersion.
More reinforcements heading your way. Here come the mechs. Use the grenade launcher to...
We've been spotted.
Take the elevator down one floor. Hurry! Get to the door! Run! You're doing great, Shepard. Head to the next room and I'll try to meet you. Shepard, read me. I've got them closing in on my position.
This is another element that makes the combat more interesting. Mobs that can explode.
Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise.
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all this money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
So we have two of the Lazarus Project workers, and we know there's already a little bit of tension between them.
I can't figure Miranda out.
Sorry, bud.
As project director, she should be ecstatic at all the progress we've made. But she's still the same old ice queen. Maybe she's worried Shepard might become the new favorite. Or maybe she is just a pure cold-hearted bitch.
More indications that there's tension between them.
I've got him! Shepard, what the hell? What are you doing here? I thought you were still a work in progress.
It's not exactly the best time for a conversation, but I mean, I did just wake up from being dead. Who are you?
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it! Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
Alright, well this is our first round of inquiry.
I know this isn't the best time, but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll give you the quick version. You and your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were killed, dead as dead can be when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the last 2 years putting you back together. You've been comatose, Or worse, that whole time. Welcome back to your life.
Well, I am only human, and even in this situation, that would still be pretty effed up to hear.
I'm having some trouble wrapping my head around this.
Yeah, I can imagine. The Alliance officially declared you killed in action. The whole galaxy thinks you're dead. And if we don't get to those shuttles, they'll be right.
Now, whilst I would want to know about my crew, I believe my military training would have me leaning towards wanting to get out of here first.
Maybe it's time we got moving.
First step, let's finish off these metal bastards. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
They're really trying to ram that thermal clip stuff down our throats, eh? Is it possible to be gaslit by a video game?
Falling back. Ready to get the hell off this station?
Before we go anywhere, I need some answers.
Sure. What do you want to know?
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me? How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What do you mean? Cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone. They wanted to bring you back exactly as you were. You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it? What they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting. At us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you. She's not about to give up on you now. You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
She knows how to take care of herself. But I hope she's okay.
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant. But I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if we...
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get him out of there. Get to the service tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way.
They've seen us.
Damn it, Wilson. This room is crawling with mechs.
The whole station is crawling with mechs. I'm doing the best I can.
And here's my favorite addition to the class, the Biotic Charge. No other ability can make you feel so powerful yet so helpless at the same time.
They found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B.
we still need to evaluate all mental and neurological functions. Our orders were clear. Make Commander Shepard who he was before the explosion. The same mind, the same morals, the same personality. If we alter his identity in any way, if he's somehow not the man he used to be, the Lazarus Project will have failed. I refuse to let that happen.
Shepard, down here! Bastards got me in the leg!
I have plenty of reasons to be suspicious, but I am still Commander Shepard. Let's get you out of here.
We need to get off this station.
I'm not going anywhere till someone fixes my leg.
Should be some Metagel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Metagel from the first aid station on the wall. Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now, huh? I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
I don't trust any of you yet. Exactly.
You're all strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe, then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard. We need to find Miranda. We can't leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing. The mechs were all over that sector. There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her? There are only two possible explanations. She's either dead, or she's a traitor.
I'm kind of leaning to the bottom option here. I am tied into the situation no matter what and do need answers, but I have no reason to care about any of these people. Well, beyond my duty.
Haven't known her long enough to trust her.
This project was Miranda's baby. She'd never sabotage it.
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor, but that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few... Overload the canisters to clear a path to the shuttles. That's it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, we took him down, but this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
We won't make it if he's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project, the program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
This dialogue wheel is a little bit silly, but I do understand why it's kind of like this, just in case you never did the Cerberus missions in Mass Effect 1, and also maybe you just started with Mass Effect 2 and have no prior background. But for Mykul Shepard, the only sensible response here is, why would Cerberus save me?
I wiped out my share of Cerberus projects when I was a Spectre. Back then they were trying to kill me. Why the change of heart?
Those answers are way above my pay grade. But basically, things change. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too, but right now we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what. Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the elusive man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Who?
Elusive man? Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah. That's not his real name, of course. Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
This all makes me feel icky, but I really have to play this situation, right? I mean, what else am I gonna do? Fine, let's go.
Well, if I won't get any more answers here, let's get moving.
It's not much farther to the shuttle bay.
We've been spotted.
Please reconsider your aggressive.
Targeting!
Impact imminent.
Right! Sure thing. Move it.
Test subject has been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
So I think if you pay attention, it's pretty obvious that Wilson is the odd one out, and therefore he is the one behind the attack. We've just seen too much evidence that Miranda would never put any of this at risk.
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job.
What'd you do? My job.
Wilson betrayed us all.
Joking aside, they're obviously trying to make us believe that Miranda is cold as fuck. But as we were just discussing, I kind of knew he was lying. I do admit it's not due process, but still.
I had a feeling Wilson was just looking for a chance to shoot me in the back.
Good instincts. Some people are far too trusting to ever see that coming. Come on, let's grab this shuttle and get out of here. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean the elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of you.
Lying to the commander isn't the way to get him to join our cause.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life? Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The elusive man is waiting for you there.
I'm not sure I trust you.
This is the only shuttle off the station. You want to stay and rot with the mechs? Be my guest.
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the elusive man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on. Before you meet with the elusive man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda, more tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The elusive man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
I do want to emphasize that this is still just a huge mindfuck.
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
2 years and 12 days. And you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a spacer kid, raised mostly on one ship or another. You enlisted and you survived a Thresher Maw attack that wiped out the rest of your team. Do you remember that?
You guys are new, so I will forgive you just this once for bringing that up.
We should move on.
Let's try something else then. Shepard, think back to the Citadel, after the Alliance saved the Destiny Ascension and you killed Saren. What happened next?
Unfortunately, this dialogue wheel does defeat the point of my end choice from Mass Effect 1. The cutscene did kind of imply that it was going to be Anderson who would be the counselor, but it was never my choice. I explicitly stated that it wasn't going to be my choice. So just a little bit of a continuity error here. I think we can forgive it though.
Humanity was offered a spot on the Council. I recommended Captain Anderson for the position.
Yes, Captain Anderson is now Counselor Anderson. Though from what I hear, he preferred life in the military.
Still, good to know that the human council member isn't going to put politics ahead of defense.
Your memory seems solid. There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
Commander Shepard.
Elusive man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
Unnecessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
As much as I want to be belligerent, intrigue does keep getting the better of me.
And what exactly is it that you and I know?
That our place in the universe is more fragile than we'd like to think. That one man, one very specific man, might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
And see, now I have the chance to shoot back. You're not my friend.
You need to earn the right to ask me those kinds of questions.
Cerberus isn't as evil as you believe. You and I are on the same side. We just have different methods.
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and Negeth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting. Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
You could have trained an entire army for what you spent to bring me back.
You're unique. Not just in ability or what you've experienced, but in what you represent. You stood for humanity at a key moment. You're more than a soldier. You're a symbol. And I don't know if the Reapers understand fear, but you killed one. They have to respect that.
If this is a threat against humanity, you need to mobilize the Alliance.
They suffered substantial losses fighting Sovereign. They're rebuilding, still stretched too thin to waste resources verifying the Reaper threat. Blaming the abductions on mercs and pirates is easier and more convenient.
I guess I've got no choice, but I don't want to just willfully buy into Cerberus. So maybe I believe you.
If what you say is true, if the Reapers are behind this, I'd consider helping you.
I'd be disappointed if you accepted any of this without seeing for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust them?
Wilson was one of my best agents, but he was a traitor. Miranda did exactly what I expected of her, and she saved your life in more ways than one. Jacob's a soldier, one of the best. He's never fully trusted me, but he's always been honest about it. You'll be just fine with them. For now.
And just as I said, it doesn't feel like I'm being given a choice. Because if there was a way that I could just get up and walk out, I would want to do that.
Is this a volunteer job, or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways. But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
Ugh, sneaky bastard. He knows full well that I can't resist being the good guy.
The elusive man is very impressed with you. I'm eager to see if you can live up to his expectations on this mission.
Time to assert my dominance.
I can't have anyone disobeying my commands when we get there.
I know who I report to. As long as you don't do anything to betray Cerberus, I'll follow your orders.
Oh, can definitely feel the hostility here.
What's the matter, Lawson? Worried you're not his favorite anymore?
I've proven my value to the elusive man. Let's hope you're able to do the same.
Well, since I'm supposed to be your life's work, Miranda, and for some reason I can sense there's a problem, I'm gonna push you on it.
Are you naturally this bitchy, or is it just me?
I have the utmost respect for your abilities, Shepard. It's your motivations that concern me. I believe in what Cerberus stands for. Only time will tell if you prove to be an asset or a liability to our cause.
What can you tell me about this colony we're going to?
Freedom's Progress? It's a typical human settlement in the Terminus systems. They had a small military force for protection supplemented by mechs and security drones. Average in almost every way, really. Completely unremarkable. Until the disappearance.
Any thoughts on what we might run into there?
A lot of empty buildings and one giant mystery.
I'd like to know more about the Lazarus Project from the person in charge.
I wasn't in charge. The elusive man was. If I was running the show, would have done a few things differently.
What would you have changed?
To start, I would have implanted you with some type of control chip. But the elusive man wouldn't allow it. He was afraid it might affect your personality, alter your character somehow. He wouldn't let us do anything that might limit your potential in any way.
Can't say I like the idea of being brought back to life with a control chip in my brain.
The elusive man is taking an incredible risk with you. I just hope his gamble pays off.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Worried about my qualifications? I can crush a mech with my biotics or shoot its head off at 100 yards. Take your pick.
I was trying to get to know you as a human being.
I'm not looking for a friend, Shepard. Stay focused on the mission.
Did you and Jacob serve together in the Alliance?
No. The elusive man recognized my potential and recruited me at a young age.
How old were you?
Old enough to know this is what I wanted.
It's obvious you're not interested in talking.
We've got an assignment. We can talk about it or we can do it.
Damn, she's a piece of work.
I'm glad the elusive man convinced you to join us, Commander.
Well, I don't want to admit that I'm joining you, but I guess I kind of am. But there's justification, and the justification is that those colonists need my help.
I just want to find out what happened to those missing people. I still don't trust Cerberus.
Noted. Do you trust me, Commander?
Candid. That will go a long way with me, Jacob. I'll be honest, I don't, but you're making a good case.
I haven't made up my mind about you yet.
At least you're giving me a chance. Most Alliance soldiers hate Cerberus on principle.
Do you know anything about this colony we're going to?
It's called Freedom's Progress. Don't know much else. I guess we'll find out when we get there.
You said you served in the Alliance?
5 years in total. Stationed all over the galaxy. Even spent a couple of years as a Corsair.
I've never heard of the Corsairs.
It was an Alliance initiative. They hired independent starship captains and used them for missions that fell outside official Alliance jurisdiction. Technically, we weren't part of the Alliance. If we ever got caught, they could disavow any knowledge of us. We were supposed to be free from restrictions and rules, but there was still enough red tape to sink a cruiser. I finally just gave up.
Why did you join Cerberus?
I guess I just got tired of never making a difference. So much of what we did in the Alliance seemed pointless. I thought things would change after the attack on the Citadel. Humanity was finally invited to join the Council, but nothing changed. Politics, bureaucracy, same bullshit, different leaders. Cerberus is different. When colonies go missing, we don't commission a team to write a report to figure out what the hell to do about it. We just go and find out.
That's all for now.
Yes, sir.
I really did want this first episode to get us all the way to the Normandy, but it is just getting a little bit too long, so we're gonna stop there. But expect part 2 very soon, and then after that, we'll get back to the regular weekly schedule. Anyways, I'm very excited to finally be back working on this series. If you enjoyed it, give the video a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Keyless Ally, my friends, and until next time.
I should go.